In this video, we are going to do the Egyptian 8. That is an 8 with a little twist in it. So I always teach my students first to do a very controlled 8 that just goes straight out to the sides, up and in. So it's this one. And an 8, that's an Egyptian 8 as well, but the other one was taught to me somehow with the name Egyptian 8. It is particularly common in Egypt to add this little twist into the 8. And it's like you've taken an 8 and you've put a little bend in it so that you have an infinity sign, and the edges of your infinity sign are at like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock instead of 9 and 3. So you're going to twist your hip, point it a little bit on a diagonal. Don't overdo it or it's going to be really tricky for you. So just small diagonal. Scoop up. As your hip comes in and you're changing sides, you're also going to squeak your feet around, scoop up and into the other side. So your feet pivot a little bit on the floor. I recommend keeping your heels very light on the floor. You want to dance like you are at a garden party in high heels, and you do not want your high heels to sink into the grass, or rather sink into the dirt. So keep your high heels clean at a garden party, meaning do not ever commit a normal amount of weight to your heel, even when it touches the floor. Working up from the floor, you're going to think about your knees falling in toward each other. You're going to keep this hourglass figure. If you let your knee follow your hip, you'll get this really awkward bow leg situation. So whatever your hips are doing, the knees are like they have little magnets attracting them to each other. We want to keep the knees close together. Another way to think of it, if it helps you, is instead of knees close together, you can think your inner thighs are trying to brush against each other. So keep those inner thighs brushing, or if you have very slim legs, your inner thighs are reaching to brush against each other. That's the feeling that we want in this move. So up and in, up and in. So the biggest problem I see in this move is dancers scooping up to the back with the hip and starting the move with a scoop up to the back and finishing it to the front. Just check in with yourself. Make sure when you start that scoop, it's to the front. Twist, scoop up to the front. So that is your Egyptian 8.